Hello, this is Mr. Rasmussen with Algebra 2 and Lesson 111. And this here is where we have some word problems. It has 3 statements in there that we have to work through to solve to get an answer. Let's look at example 1 here to start. We have nickels, dimes, and quarters, and tells us we have 26 coins. So I'm going to use an N for nickels, plus a D for dimes, plus a Q for quarters, and we're going to write this as not value, but just simply amount, as there's 26 coins. Okay, then they do tell us that it has a value of $2.25, so I'm going to write that down as 225 cents, and then I'm going to give some values to my coins, so 5N plus 10D plus 25Q, to give them their cents values. Now in this case here, looks like it's set up for elimination, but we're not quite ready for that because we'll end up eliminating one perhaps, but it doesn't work out, so I'm eliminating more than one to actually get an answer and get stuck. So we want to get we need to do some substituting where one of these variables goes away and we need to have 2 variables. So in this particular problem, they decide to write out equation between quarters and nickels, and so as you look in the problem there, 10 times the number of quarters equals oh, got it, I missed that in the problem there. It says how many coins of their type if there were 10 times as many nickels as quarters. So we're going to write out another equation here. Number of nickels equals number of quarters. This doesn't have to do with value, this has to do with just amount. And there was 10 times as many quarters than nickels. So if we put, 10 times as many nickels as quarters. So if there's more nickels, to even this equation out, we have to multiply the quarters by 10. So basically it's saying if there was 20 nickels, there's only 2 quarters, so to equal it out. Okay, so now that we wrote that out from what was given to us, we can use substitution to put the quarters in for the nickels and get to 2 variables. So let's do that. I'm going to rewrite this here. Take this out and I put 10 quarters right there. And I'm going to take this out, parentheses, and put 10 quarters in its place. Okay, now that we got to there, we can use elimination to cancel some things out. First of all, let's just combine like terms to do that. So this gives me 50 quarters here. And then if we combine like terms, let's rewrite that as we got dimes plus 11 quarters, and then 10 dimes plus over here is 75 quarters. This equals 26 and equals 225. Okay, you see how we eliminated the one group there, the nickels, and now we're just down to 2 variables, and so we use elimination to solve. So let's multiply the top by -10. And that cancels our dimes out. That looks like it gives us negative 110 for quarters there, and then negative 260 there. So when we add these, looks like negative 35 quarters is equal to negative, and then this looks like 35 there. So divide by negative 35. By negative 35, looks like we have 1 quarter. All right, so we're started on an answer here. If I have 1 quarter, if I put it back into this equation, it tells me that I have 10 nickels, and then dimes, if I have 26 coins to start with, then I can do some math there. Basically 26 minus 11, and I have 15 dimes, and there's my answer for example number 1. Okay, let's look at example number 2. And this one here, All right, it says the total number of blues, greens, and yellows in the pot was 7. So let's do blues plus greens plus yellows. They do the number of the subscripts, but this works as well. Is equal to 7. All right, the blues weighed 1 pound each. The greens weighed 4 pounds each. And the yellows weighed 5 pounds. So it looks like we need to put some weights in there. So blues stay as 1. I'll leave that as understood. Greens get a 4 in front of them as a value of pounds. Yellows get a 5 in front. And then let's see, the total amount of weight was 25 pounds. There we go. If there was one more yellow than green, how many of each color were there? Okay, so let's write out here. Yellow equals green. We know that's not true. But if there's one extra yellow than green, then let's add 1 to the green, and that brings us into an equal equation there. Okay, so then we can substitute that in for my yellows. So I'm going to put green plus 1 here, and then parentheses green plus 1 here. And so let's then parentheses remove. That's going to be 5g plus 1 there. All right, let's combine some things and write the simplified equation there. All right, I have b plus, and then it looks like 2g plus 1 like that. And then here's going to be b plus, and then it looks like 9g for green plus 5 equal 25 equal to 7. All right, now that we got to that place, we're pretty, check my work there with the book. Yep. They got 6 in there, 7. Oh, right, we gotta get this onto the same side. So let's go. That's -1 here, -1, so that becomes a 6, and then -5, and that becomes 20. Okay, then that's canceled there. All right, looks like if I multiply the top by a negative, then my b's will cancel. And if I add there, I get 7g is equal to -6 plus 20 is 14. And then divide by 7. It looks like I have 2 of the green variety. And then plug that in. If I plug that back in over here, it looks like yellow I have 3 as an answer. And then to get to my 7, it looks like my blues I have 2. So that there is the answer for example number 2. All right, go ahead and work through the practice problem yourself, and then I'll go ahead and do it here on the back of this page. All right, practice problem. All right, practice problem. We have back to coins. We have nickels, dimes, and quarters, of which there are 35. So nickels plus dimes plus quarters. And there's 35 of those. And then we're going to have a value of $5. So I'll make that into 500 cents. So 5 times nickels plus 10 times dimes plus 25 times quarters. There's my value, my amount, and then my value equation. And then they tell us how many of each coin are there if there are 2 times as many quarters as nickels. Okay, so let's write this over here. Quarters equals nickels. We know that's not true, but there's 2 times as many quarters as nickels. That means there's more quarters, so it means we have to multiply the nickels times 2 to be able to bring them up to the same amount. So let's substitute that in there for some quarters. So 2n here, and then parentheses 2n there. This gives me 50n once I remove parentheses. And then let's combine some like terms. Looks like 3n plus d equals 35. And then looks like 55n plus 10d equals 500. All right, now I need to get something to cancel. I think I'm going to multiply times -10 because it's a nice easy number there. So that will cancel my dimes. it gives me a negative 30 here, and I add those, I get 25n. Here it's going to give me a negative 350. When I add those, it looks like it gives me 150 divided by 25, divided by 25, n is equal to 6. All right, so if I have 6 nickels, it looks like I'm going to have 12 quarters, and then 12 plus 6 is 18, and so it looks like 17 dimes to get me to my 35 coins. Let me check my answer there. And with the back of the book. All right, there we go. And that is correct. All right, if you have any issues with this, feel free to text me, and I'll give you some help there. Have a great day.